Welcome to Game Orbit, a collaborative storytelling collective building a world one game at a time. This week we will be continuing our, what's it when it's two games? Diptych? Dioptic? This week we'll be playing the second game in my contribution to the God Potluck, Fallible God by Mousewife Games. If you'll remember from last week, we played a round of Advent by Megan Cross, where we created the goddess Narithma, a goddess of change, splendor, and nature, who can add shimmer to the sun, but cannot cause the plants to grow by herself. Her story travels by Starling and in the mouths of children, and she is capricious, vain, and a couple of other words.
Pastoral.
Short-sighted.
Yeah. In Fallible God, we will discuss the religion that has built up around Narithma. Here we go. Fallible God is a world-building game asking the question, what does a religion look like? What are the cultural institutions that come into being regardless of how devout a people are or how real a god is? How do we find a conceptual space that isn't just fantasy Catholicism? How do we collaboratively build a cultural framework to play other games or build other characters within? Here is one answer. This game is focused on the people-facing and cultural aspects of religion. Your actual divinity might be present, absent, extant, multifarious, personified, pantheistic, etc., etc. It can be political, politicized, hegemonic. Holy cow, that's a lot of words. Subaltern, outlawed, ancient, novel, deceased, reborn, celebrated, or unspoken. The questions Fallible God asks are not ones of faith or spirituality, but rather of religion. What matters here are the people who are affected by it. The commandments represent what people believe ought be followed, or what people know is said to be meant to be followed, regardless of how hollow, meaningful, or true. The structures represent forces that act on people, institutions, holidays, groups, roles, places, and landmarks that often grow to seem intuitive, natural, important, or unconscious. But at its core, each of these things still matter in how they affect people at the individual and social level, not in how they affect any divine force or the divinity. Everyone get all that? That was...
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was powerful. That was potent.
I already have a holiday. I got this far. It's great.
So this is kind of a short, truncated mashup of Microscope and, I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? The first step is this. Together decide on three aspects of your divinity. Consider they've got lists, there's tables that you can roll on or you can discuss them. We are essentially replacing that step with the game of Advent that we ran, because we already have a really clear picture of who Narithma is. But some of the options, just to kind of throw it out there, it's dualistic, vindictive, active, hungry, shepherding, meddlesome, calculating, generous, enlightening, righteous, tempestuous. Like there's lots of different words that we can combine together. We already have Narithma sort of pinned down. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go around the table creating commandments. 6 is a great number of commandments to aim for to set up the next part, but more or fewer can work too. We've got 5 of us, so I think we should at least commit to at least 5 commandments. If we want to do more, we can do more. Each commandment should be something adherents to this religion believe should be followed. Whether or not they actually follow them, or whether or not the God actually cares, this is what the adherents think. They're often in imperative tense. So don't do A, don't do B. Only do X if you also do Y. Always Q. R must be followed. S should be ignored except for T. It is good to do U. That kind of thing. But we can also throw in little poetic idioms or those kinds of things. It is imperative. The imperative can be hidden in poetic language and carefully worded truisms in statements about what is believed to be true in the world. For example, always sleep with a sword under your pillow.
Mhm.
That doesn't sound comfortable.
Nope. That's what God wants, apparently, according to the priests anyway. So there's some examples in here that I can just sort of throw out. Only verb if you've verbed first. Seek out nouns to gain other noun. Never forget to verb lest bad thing happen. Poetic maxim on how to treat outsiders or those in and out. Carry a specific attitude towards divinity in your heart. Let your actions, verb phrase representing a cultural view towards authorship, audience, history, speech, morality, or an aspect of the divinity. Right? So we can be as flowery as we want here. And given that Narithma is very wrapped up in the arts and splendor, and she has like a million goddamn titles, I think we should probably go as hard as we can on the loftiness.
Absolutely.
100%.
110.
So let's let's get a commandment out there. Let's throw something out there, and then we can sort of expand upon it, throw it around. Shit, we could start with a simple commandment and then literally play a round of telephone and see what we come up with. Like let's get something big and complicated and ornate.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Does this include the holidays, or is that another step?
That's the next step.
That's the next step.
Start with
Cool.
commandments, then we get the
Commandments
holidays and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. Though I guess I don't know, keep the Sabbath is a commandment. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but
Like that might be you could have a commandment that's wrapped up in a holiday.
I have one holiday in particular.
Okay, Rabbit's
I
definitely
have
got
one.
one axe to grind and one axe only.
And I'm gonna grind that fucker so fine. It's gonna look so good. It's gonna see yourself in that. It's
Who
gonna
wants to start me with just like the barest foundation of a commandment, and then we'll workshop it.
I've got one.
go for it.
Always see the potential beauty in a moment.
That's good. There you go.
Always see the potential beauty in a moment.
Yeah, write that one down. That wins.
I already did.
Oh, there you go.
Seek the Starlings when you seek truth. Unlike the mouths of men, Starlings can speak no lies,
Oh.
for their words come directly from Nyrithma.
Mildred agrees. For sure. Hold on, we got to give Emily time to write that one down.
I'd say just take the first two sentences there.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have to get the gist of it and get the exact wording at a later date to be determined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we got so far? Always see
the beauty in a moment.
the potential beauty in a moment, and
Seek the Starlings if you seek the truth.
Seek the Starlings if you seek
Is
the truth.
is the big part.
and
Yeah.
probably like the larger, seek the Starlings, seek the truth. But I do like
The full version.
the
Absolutely
full version
exists.
is great. Like
Yeah.
you got to read the whole thing.
That's how you know how into the whole thing someone is
Yeah.
if they follow the entire
Yeah.
commandment. It's like the jack of all trades bit,
Yeah.
almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much Starlings can be used as a metaphor for children. Be like children, be innocent, be truthful.
Yeah, children
Because
tell the truth. They don't know how to lie.
Children
yet,
have to
but
learn how to lie.
Well, it's one of those things where like that verse could be interpreted and reinterpreted and reinterpreted about 1,000 different ways.
I'm trying to think. Do I want to do a more like happy one, or do I want to do something that's really dark?
Let's do a dark one because we got two good.
You want to do you?
Destruction is the greatest beauty of creation.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. It's messed up.
Yeah. Hey, you want
Yeah.
a dark one? Not everything's sunshine and rainbows.
That's not a commandment.
No.
Not everything is sunshine and rainbows is a bumper sticker.
Okay, there, edgy. We got an edgy guy at the diner.
Alex?
I keep trying to figure out how to word this better, but hyperbole isn't bad.
Okay.
The feeling is there, but we got to workshop
Yeah,
the wording.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. It's a good one.
Color your language the way you do a painting.
Hold on. Color your language the way a sunset paints the sky.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Ha Oh, I get a commandment.
Yeah.
All that glitters need not be gold to glitter all the same. No, we hate it. We hate it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like a follow your impulses thing.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? Like chase the impossible. The more you know.
Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, Brie.
Moonlight grants dreams for us to follow in waking times.
Okay.
So it's kind of a follow your dreams, but you actually have to work to do it.
I don't think
she thinks you have to work for it.
I don't think she would talk about working towards goals. I think she would be like, "Oh yeah, just go fucking follow your nose, baby. Snatch that pie right off the windowsill. When you smell it, just float off the ground and just sort of hover towards it slowly while you're sniffing."
Yeah, it's embrace the moment and worry about the future when you get there.
Yeah.
I mean, then at that point, you're just kind of summarizing down as live life for the moment.
Yeah, but we gotta be all
We had to be
We
flowery
all-
for it.
More frillier.
vain about it. I like the moonlight shines.
Mhm.
Be the air, the wheat, and the breeze that moves.
We're encircling it. We're definitely surrounding it. We've got it trapped.
We got you now. We just need to hem
Bar
out.
the gates, throw the torches. We'll smoke it out. We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
The future is as much an illusion as the past.
Fun.
What you seek is the mirage on the horizon.
Now we're coming up with some good fortune cookies.
We're,
Yeah.
yeah,
For a
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
restaurant.
We gotta-
Moonlight and golden hour are much the same.
I think that's more towards the beauty side of it.
Mhm.
Moon imagery, I like for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Mildred. We need to be better at this.
Yeah, Mildred, you tell us. She is getting frustrated.
This is why I'm a painter, not a poet.
All right, hold on. I got another one here. Let me just throw this one out here. I'm gonna mix an ore and a moon imagery.
All right.
The moonlight shines on silvery rocks, meant to be found tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. I
Or it
think.
could just be the moonlight shines on silver, meant to be found tomorrow.
Yeah. I like that. Simpler.
Do we like that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We want to pluck anything else out of the air here. We've got 5.
We can
We
easily
can
do
get
one more
I
each.
think we can get one more each. Oh
Yeah,
my god, we're doing
yeah.
a full
10
the 10
commandments.
commandments of Narithma.
The 10 Commandments of Narithma. Oh, I had a thing, but I want to make it even more kind of weird. So help me weirden this one out. Creation itself is the beauty of the world, but I want to make that more weird.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. I want it to be creepy, but like in a comforting way.
I'm trying to come up with a dark one, similar.
Okay, so creation itself is the beauty of the world, but like what kind of like what images are you trying to evoke here? What
Inevitability.
inevitability? Okay.
Creation is inevitable. That's kind of boring. Toss that one. I don't like it. We're erasing it. It never happened.
Well, it could have to do with like the beauty and death or something. Is that what you're trying to get?
Oh, no, I just wanted to make something weird. I had no actual end goal for this.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to be one of those things that in a universe, priests will squabble over in like angry letters to each other about who's right about a thing. Kind of like the Talmud.
Okay. So what if okay, maybe something like the root which cracks the stone is also which burns in flames.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the root which cracks the stone is the same that burns in fire.
Yeah.
Makes no
Makes no sense.
really.
No.
It's one of those things that you got to attach your own meaning, but your meaning might go against someone else's meaning, and then you're
And
like,
then
well,
you
who
fight.
is right?
Yeah.
And
There's-
then you have a little holy war about it.
Yeah, you have a little schism, you have a little holy war, and then you have a little reformation later.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I just think it's needed in
And
a
you've
religion.
got a weird game of rock, paper, scissors, but it's root, stone, fire.
Yep, perfect. Fire beats root, but root also beats fire.
But
And
the
then you
stone
have-
cannot burn.
But the stone cannot burn.
Yeah, root beats stone, stone beats fire, fire beats root. Yeah, root, stone, fire.
Yeah.
That's how they play. And then stone's the easy one. That's a fist.
Yeah.
And then fire, I think you do
Yeah, but in the
wiggly
second
fingers.
church of creation,
And
it's
then-
actually backwards.
And then root, is it just wiggly fingers going down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So then you always get
Rock,
the person who does
paper,
it sideways and
scissors.
it's like, no, I was going.
yeah. So we got wiggly fingers up, still fingers down,
Mm.
and then a fist is
Yeah.
root, stone, fire.
Okay.
And the kids play that.
Yeah. They learned it from the Starlings.
And they learned it from the start. That's fucking perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. However,
So the reality of this commandment is that it was the Starlings trying to teach the kids a fun little game to play, but the adults think that it means something.
yes.
Lies can polish stone or burn the fields. Be careful how you use them. Because again, we have a god of illusion and glamour and splendor. But again, lies are just a tool. They can keep you warm or burn you to death. All depends on how you use it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Because again, we have a god who's a bit of a trickster. White lies versus black lies. White lies are okay. Things used to embellish but not harm. But outright falsehoods can burn the field.
I kind of like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That works. What do we have? 7 commandments?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got 7. Do you got one more?
Alex has one more in the pocket.
Remain as unchanging as the moons.
No.
Oh, you sneaky fucker.
Yep.
Oh, that's a
Do we
good one.
want to round it out with 9?
Do we have it?
Numerologically, I feel like 9 is a very ever-shifting number.
Oh yeah, I like.
Prime? No, it's
yeah.
not prime.
It's not
It's not.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm having
famous
a
prime number.
I'm
9.
I'm having a brain fog.
3?
man.
Who's that?
Do we have a 9th one?
I did want to do one about like a mirage, like a mirage. I do want to make mention of the mirage, and I kind of want to use mirage imagery to talk about lying to yourself, right? Like sort of like the mirage only shows you what you long for most, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the lies can't hurt you if you're not full of a bunch of wants.
Yeah.
Mirages are meant to be admired, not chased.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is funny because it's also internally contradictory with another commandment, which is perfect.
Yes. Perfect. That's the 9th commandment. Not 10. We're not going to do a full 10. We're going to do 9 because it's
9
weird.
command. I like it. 9 commandments. It's perfect. Well, it's. I mean, if we, so I'm going to throw some music chops around. 9 was considered in the like the old monk times in medieval times as the perfect meter, because it was 3 divisible by 3, which 3 is a holy number.
Father, Son, and Holy
And
Spirit.
so it was a 3 large beat with 3 subdivisions inside of it. So they really liked 9-8.
Again, just harkens back to the fever dream of the mid-90s where everyone was really into Gregorian chants for a year.
One exact year. It was, I believe it was the year before they got into swing dancing.
Yep.
Yeah, we just kind of went through music history over the course of about 2.5 years.
Well, when you suddenly
Alright.
have access to more of it, yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
Let's
Tracks.
say this is the Western world. It's not like we didn't have access to Gregorian chants. Not like Mongolian throat singing.
But
Okay, here we go.
everything became
Yeah, let's go.
novel.
Now, go around the table with each person introducing a structure. Structures can be a holiday, group, ritual, a title, or a landmark. Each structure will exist at the crux, the intersection or union of 2 commandments. So you can either come up with your structure and then bullshit in 2 commandments, or pick 2 commandments and then try to build a structure from it. Holiday, group, ritual, title, or landmark.
Okay, so I have mine already.
Yeah, Rabbit, you've been starving for this. You're dying.
Oh my god. Okay. So she created the moon and caused the first eclipse, right? Now
Didn't create the moon, just caused the eclipse.
Just caused the first eclipse.
Yeah, created the first eclipse. And eclipses don't happen often.
Yeah.
So this one is a weird one. The greatest holiday of this religion is the day an eclipse happens.
Ooh.
On the day of the eclipse, everyone gathers around, and as soon as the eclipse happens, they burn down all of their churches.
Fuck yes!
Yeah. They burn every
Oh,
church
that's
to
so
the
cool.
ground, dashes it all to pieces, takes all the ash, casts it into the fields, and builds a new church.
Not only that,
Yeah.
I bet they try to burn the other churches too.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not
They burn
like-
all the
It
churches.
started with just theirs,
Yeah.
and then eventually, like we're talking over the course of hundreds of years, some of the more extreme groupings
Yeah.
of these worshippers, they burn every
Every
church in
church.
town.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
So
Which
there's
do-
some people standing vigil outside of their churches to try and keep them from burning.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there's like conflict, right? But I'm sure that like some of them are kind of chill with it,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like some of the people are like, "Oh, you're gonna burn our church down, but then you're just gonna rebuild it."
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. So
Can,
we get a
can
new
we
church
give
over
you
here.
instructions on the style we want?
Yeah, I could see some religions being like, "So you're gonna like follow our architect? So like, will you do it the way we want to, or are you
Oh
just,
yeah,
like,
because the
being
point
Get
of
a say on
burning it down,
materials?
because the point of burning it down and then rebuilding it is to make it even better than it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also make it just make sense in the new, because I mean, you imagine an eclipse is only happening what 3 to 10 years somewhere in there.
Yeah,
So it just just needs a new refresh. It's kind of like the tree of liberty must occasionally be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants kind of thing.
Yeah. So the commandment that this follows is the one about destruction is the greatest beauty of creation.
And well, it's at the crux of two, and I think the other one that it relates to is be as unchanging as the moon.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yep.
the moon has decided to take a little break, so it's like, okay, time to
Mhm.
reset.
Outstanding. That's
Yes.
a fucking great holiday.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've got a holiday. Now obviously we don't need to do one of each, but it would be nice to have a little bit of each, right? So we've got a holiday. Other options are group, ritual, title, or a landmark.
I was actually thinking of a landmark,
Okay?
which is the first church,
Okay.
the one that isn't actually burned every year because it's not actually a structure.
Okay.
It is the grove where the first starling, or where it's believed the first starling, heard the word.
Mmm.
So that entire grove is turned into a nature preserve.
Yeah.
And there is a pilgrimage once every 5 years for people to go. And all that this is just priests and starlings. That's what it is. It is a starling sanctuary, and it is very similar to the Buddha tree, where it's people go there to commune with the starlings and commune with what's the word name of the goddess again? Can't remember.
Narithma.
Narithma, thank you. So, and that is a combination of seek the starlings, their words be speak truth, and what's the other command I was thinking of? Yeah, it's actually a combination of the first two. Always see the potential beauty in a moment, and seek the starlings, for they seek truth.
Can there be a little pond in front of the tree that they watch for a catfish?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's part of the nature preserve.
Maybe there's a little stream out there.
Yeah.
You get a great view of the fields burning every year, or every eclipse.
What if there's another little kicker on here where it's roughly every 5 years, but it's hard to predict? And what they have to do is they have to watch for. There is a starling migration. It happens roughly around the same time of year, but it doesn't happen every year. And kind of like the swallows, they always stop at this preserve. And it's about every 5 years, but sometimes it's 4 and sometimes it's 6. And they use kind of a goofy-ass divine numerology to be like, oh, if it's 6 years, then there's going to be an eclipse next year. But if it's 4 years, that means there's not going to be an eclipse for 3 more years. Like, they have these sorts of little portents that they base it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But they always stop at the same place. They always
Absolutely.
stop at this preserve. And so it's a huge, huge, huge event. And then there's probably people like,
And should the two coincide, the year that the starlings migrate on the eclipse?
oh yeah, that's
There's going to be a sighting. That she's
That's a
coming
sighting.
back.
Yep.
that's a big Narithma is gonna pop on down and she's gonna introduce herself and it's gonna take about a half an hour to get through all the titles.
Mhm.
Because
Ooh, and then what happens though? Like, does she grant like one wish, or does she like, you know what I mean? Like, what's she do?
she creates the most beautiful moment for everyone inside the sanctuary.
Hmm.
All the fields around the sanctuary, which are still fields. They're still owned by farmers. But all those go up in the only expression of rainbow fire you'll ever see. And the starlings go flying amongst the embers without being harmed, but gain the colors. So she's painting the fields at night when they can be most appreciated during the eclipse.
Yeah.
It's almost like a fiery aurora borealis on land.
I think this probably fucks viewers up.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it doesn't hurt them, but like you don't walk away from that without your brain being a little bit rewired.
Especially for the people selling hallucinogenics amongst the crowd, because oh Lord, they have figured out these people will take them.
What? Okay, what is the title for the very, very few people? We're talking this is a once every 2 generations event. What is the title for the very few people who have seen this?
Like the title of the people or the title of the event?
Like what do they
Title
call
of the
themselves?
witnesses?
The gazers.
What do you have, Alex?
I have a stupid one.
But
Do it.
The Neurhythmics.
the Neurhythmics? Oh god.
Because the reason they're called the gazers is because afterwards, for months on end, their eyes are always, anytime they open their eyes, it is wide.
I need to be just really candid, just very real and honest with you. I like the idea that you're going for. Gazers has a really weird mouth feel. I don't know. I don't know why, and I'm so sorry.
The Gazers.
The Gazers. Like I don't know.
Just because the flames are rainbow doesn't mean you can assume. Embers.
The witnesses. Okay.
The Deveners of the True Fire.
The Saurus.
I don't think we can call them that. Have you tried calling them Fantasy Name Generator instead?
The Beholder.
The Beholders.
The Beholden. The Beholden.
The Beholden.
The Beholden
Yes.
is better. Beholder is not so much.
That'd be kind of cool, though.
Mhm.
Bystanders. I don't know. I've got bystander, viewer, witness, eyewitness, looker, onlooker. What? Watcher, beholder, looker, gaper. We're not using gaper.
Gawpers.
Gawpers.
No. Oh.
No, the Beholden. The Beholden.
There's probably I do kind of like gawpers as sort of like the folksy word for it, and then I'm sure there's people who are sort of in the high part of the religion who prefer. No, we're beholders, not gawpers.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
perfect.
Something like that.
So the proper term for sojourners is apotheosized. Those who are drawn to this. The colloquial term for those people they're just called gawpers.
They're called gawpers.
Gawpers.
Outstanding. That's great. Okay. All right, so we've got a holiday. We've got a landmark. We have one title, but I kind of cheated that in. Let's get a, we either need a group, a ritual, or another title.
A group?
Yeah, like a group.
I think there's got to be like an artist's guild or something like that.
Oh, yeah, an arts guild. Okay.
There are 2 guilds. One is an arts guild, and they're the Guild of Starlings. The other is the more underground and destructionist portion. So we have the Starlings and the Crows.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hit on crows. Crows are bros.
What is the Crow's agenda?
The Crows' agenda follows more on an anarchist side and destructionist side. They've taken the 9th commandment, which is destruction is the...
No, that's not
that's-
nice. That's the third.
Yeah, that's the third.
Yeah,
commandment.
they've taken the 3rd commandment as the most important commandment. So, again, they seek to create through destruction. They're a strong anarchist group trying to break down any portion of order in order to allow individuality and growth to happen. Anything that seems stagnant.
Some kind of eco-terrorist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Fighting against people who are afraid to pursue change.
Exactly.
Ooh. So they're Avalanche.
Yes.
From Final Fantasy VII. Okay, so we have and the Starlings are like your standard arts guild.
Arts and propaganda.
Propaganda. Oh, so
Propaganda.
the Starlings are potentially a tool of the state, where the Crows are potentially an enemy of the state.
It actually gave me an idea
fun.
for a 10th commandment.
But we're solid on the Ninth Commandment.
A
So-
forbidden 10th commandment.
So
Oh, the forbidden 10th commandment, only followed by the
Yeah,
pros.
only some people consider it valid.
Maybe people in the cities that are kind of bought in.
Starlings speak the harshness of truth. Crows speak the wisdom of lies. Because everybody believes
Just the wisdom. Crows speak the wisdom of lies. The unknown 10th commandment.
This is more like just temple wisdom.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Aquinian, right? Like it's like it's a
Equestrian dojo.
it's sort of an axiom that's been around for so long. It's not in any of the establishing texts, but it's one of like the early philosophers.
But
Came up with it?
yeah, if you continue the logic of the Starlings speak only the truth, then the Crows must be the ones who speak lies.
Right, so it's not in any of the texts, but everyone not everyone recognizes it, but it is everyone recognizes it as an important axiom in the religion, even though it's not in the founding texts.
it's an offshooting of the commandment of lies.
Yeah. Okay.
It was posited in one theological work by some dude that was just real angry that day.
Oh, great! Crows are Protestants.
A little bit. We need a ritual or a title.
How about like a good spring ritual? A good
Okay.
spring ritual. You know, right there on the
Equinox?
yeah, the equinox. There we go.
Oh, I have an idea. It is considered good luck if it rains on the equinox. So they have a ritual to try to summon the rainfall.
Oh, I like that they actually try to bring about rain on the equinox, and it probably never works.
And obviously sometimes it does rain on the equinox, and
Yeah.
they thank Narithma for it. Narithma doesn't create
Great
weather.
weather. Yeah,
Narithma just predicts
Predicts
it
yeah.
and makes it cool. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy or like a cargo cult kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like they're doing this ritual, and we can describe what the ritual is. And if it does happen to rain, it is a kick-ass, beautiful rainstorm.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't, then they're like, "Oh, we did it wrong." But really, it's not even. They're way outside of Narithma's domain. Like that's
Yeah.
not. They need to go to a different office for that one. So what's the ritual to attempt to summon the rain on the spring equinox?
I really see something because it has to be something weirdly feudal, but like kind of really neat. So people get buckets of colored water and gather in like the town square together and just start tossing colored water up while wearing white robes to stain them so they end up looking tie-dyed.
Oh, okay.
And then
They're-
they wear those the rest of the
They're
day.
trying to paint the sky to please Narithma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're painting themselves to please Narithma so that Narithma will wash them clean.
They're
Cool
putting
thing
the
is-
rainbow before the rain.
Mhm.
Kinda, yeah. And what's cool about it, though, so Narithma can't control the rain, but what Narithma can do, because of course she's a fucking clown, is if it does rain on the equinox, washes all the colors out of the robes.
Yeah, yeah.
She can do that.
Yep.
That's cool. So they do a color run.
Yeah, they do.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Color run white t-shirt party.
Yeah.
Yeah, color one
Nice
white
little
t-shirt
bit of that.
party.
Column A, column B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what is that festival? God damn.
Mhm.
Okay. We need a title, and then we've got one of each, and then we can freeform it from here.
Okay, a title.
A title.
like for a person or a.
Sure. We've got the one title for someone who has witnessed the Starling migration on an eclipse night.
Yeah.
But what about anything else? So, official titles for like clergy or those sorts of things. Like there might be all sorts of options.
Mm. So let's see. What would be the priest or priestess be called?
So again, as we discussed before, in crow form, Narithma hates scarecrows.
Mm-hmm.
Every temple has a grand scarecrow.
Oh, interesting.
Paradox.
Exactly. It is a person that hears the confessions and
Sin.
chases away those who are lying excessively or lying maliciously
Okay.
punishes them, much like the scarecrow punishes the crow. And this is the fun bit. It's especially a fun thing among the youth to try and pull one past the grand scarecrow.
Oh yeah.
And they get a harsh whipping.
But like that's the worst thing that happens. To
Yeah, no,
kids.
it's-
They just get it. They just get.
They get a whipping and a yelling at because they try to pull one past the grand scarecrow.
Whereas like an adult who is engaging in lies and malfeasance in a truly malicious way, like that's exile, that's death. Like,
It's
yeah.
not
Oh,
exile.
Alex has got something.
It's not exile or death. It is public shaming.
This is a high fantasy world, right?
Yeah.
They have their memories rewritten.
Oh God.
Ooh.
If your changing reality is causing pain, ugliness, things that she hates, they rewrite you.
Yes,
Oh, man.
re-education, because you're going against the will of Narithma.
It's called re-narrativization. They rewrite your entire story
No,
to force
we
you
gotta have something prettier than that. I think they so either they you get just rewritten,
Mhm.
or I was also thinking maybe they call it sunrising you.
No.
Well, hang on. What does that entail?
Sunrising?
Yes.
It's a new day for your brain.
New day, new you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's not sunrising because, again, it has nothing to do with sunrise, just makes it prettier. You get eclipsed.
Could
There
be.
you go.
You
Call it
are
that.
blanked out as Narithma blanked out the moon on their first night.
And it comes back anew.
When sunrise happens, you are a new dawn and a new day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. That's messed up. That's a pretty downward punishment. That's a downward
Ooh.
punishment right
And,
there.
and bring fire into it. They get branded too.
So you wake up with fresh memory. Oh, this is horrible.
And you look
And
at
you
your
have
army,
a
you've got like a.
brand. Yeah. You're not ostracized for having
are
the
there people
brand,
with several?
but now you know.
Like, do they have a different
Oh,
one
yeah.
for
Okay.
repeaters?
No, it's the same one. It's just you're covered with the same brand over and over because you can't remember why you have it.
So in most societies, you're not ostracized for having one brand.
Yeah.
If you have more than one, then people start having a big problem with you being around.
Yeah, that's when you start to get exiled.
That's when people start to do a big concern over your
Yeah.
whole situation. Oh, what?
The leader of the crows is covered with those brands.
The leader of the crows.
Can only remember the one commandment. That's the only commandment they can remember.
Because the leader of the crows has how many brands? 9 brands.
Oh,
Yes.
One for each commandment. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. 9 brands, and they are called the burnt.
Maybe.
Is that
Called
the burnt, the branded?
Brandy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I kind of so the crows is kind of a thieves guild, right? So it's like whatever their name is, and then 9 brands.
Mm.
So like Samuel 9 brands or something like that,
Mhm.
or those sorts of things. Not Samuel, but we'll think of a more badass name. We can workshop that part. You know what I mean? Or they might just call like the crow with 9 brands.
Mhm.
Like go speak to the crow.
The branded crow.
Yeah, if you can find
That's a good tavern.
Yeah.
that is a good tavern.
Where do you
That's a
think they
great tavern.
operate out of?
Yeah.
The branded crow.
It's just in the basement.
You would never put a thieves guild in a bar called the Branded Crow. That's a little on the nose, don't you think?
Well, that's why the Yakuza operate out of an English, novelty store in the middle of downtown Dubuque.
That's true.
So another thing with the branded though is the fact that not everyone in the guild has actually been branded.
No, that's not a prerequisite. It just helps.
But that's how you can tell who the badass people in there are in the hierarchy, because those are the ones that do have multiple brands.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's intense. Okay, that's all right. We did a whole fucked up thing just now. That was
We
pretty
did.
wild.
Are you
The
shocked?
crow with the 9 brands is the guy that's in charge. There's our title.
Yeah, I love it.
And strange thing, not many people realize this. He was the first Grand Scarecrow.
He was a grand
Scarecrow.
No,
Yeah.
he was the first. He took his power too seriously, started punishing people who weren't
Maybe.
going against the laws, and then all of a sudden he was branded, and then again, and then again, and then again.
Could be, yeah.
And somehow can live forever.
And
Okay.
is very long-lived.
Yeah.
Or the title just keeps going to another person
Yeah.
who also gets that many brands.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to do, though.
It's a Dread Pirate Roberts.
A little bit. Okay, so
We've got a
That
place.
was title,
that was a title.
believe it or not.
I had another title. This one's going to be a little bit more chill. And I'm trying to think of a word for basically, okay, a pilgrimage, when you are doing a pilgrimage for Narithma, is not destination bound.
Mm.
You just decide that you are going to go off, and then you'll come back when you come back. That's your pilgrimage. That's your holy journey.
Ah.
You don't actually aim anywhere. You just literally follow whim and fate and signs.
You've got walkabout.
No. It's not sowing your wild oats. You're chasing starlings.
Yeah. So we need a title for one who chases starlings.
Ah.
So like it'd be the kind of thing like you're out traveling, right? You're out in the world. You're away from like your enclave or whatever. You would call yourself like I am, blah blah. You know, I am a pilgrim or I am a this or that, right?
Fledgling.
Fledgling? Maybe.
Fledgling?
Leaving the nest for the first time.
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe.
Flighter. Someone
Flighter?
who's taken flight, as opposed to flighty.
Windswept?
Migratory.
Migratory?
Migratory.
Going on the great migration today, Bill.
Moonseeker.
Moonseeker?
Mhm.
Star chasing.
Star chasing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or stargazing.
Stargazing. Oh yeah, I'm just out
Because you're
stargazing.
sleeping out. Yeah. Out stargazing.
Oh, that's kind of cool actually, because it's a little bit of an undercover thing. Like you're wandering on a road at night, and so it's like, what are you doing here? And it's like, I'm just stargazing.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
Yep.
That's
Perfect.
kind of cool. Stargazers.
Stargazer.
Okay, that's the title. Any other holidays, groups, rituals, titles, or landmarks?
We need a holiday that doesn't happen every once in a great while.
Or
We need a
burning.
year. We need
Well,
a
instead of a weekly Sabbath sort of thing, just the new moon.
new moon.
New moon is okay.
It's like a mini eclipse. You can't see the moon, but you know it's there.
Yeah. Because
Mhm.
it celebrates before Narimna's existence.
Existence. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a memory of the original eclipse.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we call it.
So it's the new moon. So like, what do they do?
These small burnt offerings.
Burnt offerings.
Yeah. Maybe like maybe it's a
You
lot
can
of
take a work,
incense.
what you consider a work of art, and burn it on a little altar.
That's what the festival is. They actually take a huge piece of fabric. Everyone in town paints part of it.
Okay.
And at midnight, they set it ablaze, hoping to bring Narithma back.
Yeah, but doing that
Or
every
celebrating.
30 days? That
I
seems
could see like they might do collaborative art projects and then burn them, or you might just take something.
Of yours.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
burn.
Oh, maybe they do it like here's a thought. What they do, some of what they do. I think all of these things probably happen depending on where you go. I think Narithma is actually a very well-traveled goddess.
Yeah.
Right.
As the starling flies.
There's a little Narithma kind of dotted all over the place, and so and since they're pretty chill about everything, they kind of adapt whatever rituals to the lingua franca, right? So there's a ton of different ways to do it. So in one area, I'm thinking of what they do is on the full moon. So you have the 3 days of the full moon, depending on if it's a 3-day full moon on our planet. I'm not sure. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah.
Lex actually wants the planet to be the moon of another planet. But
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
We'll
I
see if
agree.
that happens.
We'll see how that lines up.
Fucking Endor.
I know, right? So here's what you do. On the full moon, they spend a little bit of time each of those days making some sort of a piece of art. Then, what you do is you leave it outside until the new moon.
Hmm.
And then you can get a blessing a couple of different ways, right? If due to the weather conditions, the art has been basically like ruined, then you burn it in offering. But if it's been sustained due to good weather or whatever, then you keep it forever and pass it down your line.
Ah, okay.
I have it. The art piece, since again, it began with the words of children. It began in rural areas.
Mhm.
The art pieces are to take wheat or plants and weave them into a doll.
Okay.
And as you get to more bigger areas, dolls get more elaborate, but it's something a child would offer.
Mm-hmm.
So again, children you start as a child making simple dolls. They get more and more elaborate as you get older. Some people get better product, better, initial materials, and that's what you build on the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
And again, on the
full moon.
the full moon. That's what you build in the full moon.
And then you leave it out.
And you leave it out for the entire month until the new moon comes. And that's actually when you burn it.
Right.
And depending on how well you've kept it, if you've kept it in a place of honor, as opposed to...
So if you're leaving it out, it's kind of up to the whims of the weather, is the idea,
It
right?
can be, but again, you have people that build, shelters for it and places of honor for it around their house. Even like, children, again, if you're a child and you build a doll, you're going to put it in a house.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these simple little structures among rural things where they put the doll. And yes, it's an open structure. It's still open to the whims of the wind and everything like that. But again, much like everything else, it can be something that's passed down.
I wonder if the people that leave their art object out in the weather purely to whim look down upon the people that shelter their dolls.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll bet they get into it's like the Baptists and the Methodists. They're almost identical in practice, except this one fucking thing, and they will not stop fighting over it.
Yeah. Same with, there's people that just create a thing, no matter what the thing is. It could be art, it could be furniture, it could be a hat, a piece of clothing, and do it. And then the people that, honest to God, like, no, you have to weave a doll. You have to.
It's very, like, you got your casual practitioners that are like, oh, yeah, that's right, it's the new moon.
You grab some rags, put it together.
I grew this in my garden.
Piece of grass. In the fire. We did it!
Hey!
And then there are people that spend thousands of dollars buying the most
They're gross.
yeah.
beautiful wheat they can find.
Rare gems.
Oh, yeah.
Weaving in the prettiest colored flowers they can acquire.
And they even will put they'll still put it outside, and it'll be in like an open shrine, but then they'll paint it with glass so that it is protected, because
so
they
the
believe
sky can see it, Narithma can see it, but it's protected from the weather.
right, and they have like this weird interpretation of like you must put it where Narithma can see it, and then they're like, oh, that means we can use glass, right? We can use glass. That means we're still getting blessed. Now Narithma probably doesn't care that much about any of this, but the people do.
But then there are the reductionist Orthodox people who believe you can't do it with anything that's been cut, so they spend generations cultivating and weaving a living plant to be in the shape of a human that's in a greenhouse, and like, that's
plant
a
weaving
whole...
would be big
Oh,
in this
plant weaving
area.
would be huge in this religion. Oh yeah. Actually, I just thought of like a really cool landmark. There's probably a place where there is maybe an order of like druidic monks. Like there's probably monasteries of some kind for Narithma, because she is ostensibly a nature goddess at heart.
Are you about to do a Burning Man? Because you're about to do a Burning Man.
I'm not about to do a Burning Man. I'm doing more of like a living sculpture garden.
Oh, okay.
Where there's like this monastery, and it's got this big, it's walled in. Like, you need permission to come. Usually they want you to send notice like a fortnight in advance. And you can go here and you can walk through the living garden of Narithma. And if you walk there on the new moon, you might see the sculptures come to life.
Ah, there you go.
It's called Narithma's Palette.
Yeah. Do they come to life? Of course not. It's an illusion, because Narithma's fucking with them.
Yes.
The
Making
monks
memories
have
to keep
built
her name spreading.
raised walkways,
Uh-huh.
so you cannot walk among the garden.
You're
You
walking
can
in like catwalks above them.
above it.
Oh,
Accessed
yeah.
by Moonbridge.
Yeah. Oh, and on an actual eclipse night, they sequester out the fort, and everyone must remain outside the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Except for, like, the head of the monastery always has to be a, what is it, beholder?
A beholden?
Oh,
What is it?
The apotheosized.
Yeah.
The apotheosis.
Has to be
Apotheosized.
apotheosized. Only the apotheosized may remain in the garden on the night of an eclipse.
Okay.
What happens in there? Ooh, no.
Ooh, spooky.
Spooky, scary.
It's just a bunch of monks going, thank fucking God, and just ripping farts left and right, and not going to be a holy
Well,
shit.
and
Oh, they don't have an order of silence.
Yeah, well, it could be that the monks are allowed, like, a night of reprieve on eclipse nights, and they can go into town and kind of hang out.
Yeah, and they think that the guy in charge has to do some big grand ritual, and the only thing he's actually doing is making himself a nice meal and going to bed early.
Probably makes himself a nice meal, does some prayers in the garden. It may or may not come to life, and then he just chills out, gets some time to himself.
Yeah. Gets alone time.
Writes a little poetry, maybe.
Yeah, does
Does a
something,
little painting.
and then they come back. What did you see? What
Plays
did
a
you
little
see?
music.
What did you see? And the apotheosized is like, I can't tell you.
you?
Or you go.
You'll have to see it for yourself when you reach that level.
Yeah, go and see for yourself on the night of an eclipse in the Starling Grove. Then you may witness with me. And it's like, these fucking guys.
That's
Right.
part of the monastic tradition. You get sent to gather seeds on the nights the abbot gets the place to himself.
That's so mean. I think they get a night off. I'm sure it's different monastery. The main one though, yeah, I could see them not even being allowed like a night on the town. Like an eclipse isn't a night off for them. They do have to go gather seeds. Because of course, seeds gathered under the eclipse grow better.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Colors brighter.
A little faster, the wood's more pliable, so you can bend it more easily.
Mhm.
Little things like that. Yeah. That's sick as fuck.
Yep.
Anything else?
I have a little small ritual.
Yeah.
Oh,
give
little
me-
ritual.
Probably would like be stuck to like richer areas, but you write a poem or draw a picture on a piece of paper, fold it into a little origami starling, and hand it off to someone you were into.
Aww,
yeah.
that's cute.
Yeah.
I think that's very cute
This is my
think it's
profession of
precious.
love, and you know it's true.
because
Yeah.
it's a starling.
Really?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's adorable.
Yep.
Marriage proposals are the same way,
I like that.
All right.
but same thing. Profession of love in the starling. You put a seed in. The prospective betrothed plants it. If it buds within 2 weeks, then the marriage is destined. If it doesn't, then it is not necessarily. I mean,
Actually-
it varies sect to sect. But it's not. It's like not like don't do it. This
Yeah.
isn't a good marriage. It's not a good match.
Actually, I was going to change it slightly up because it's not that it's destined.
Mm-hmm.
If your answer is yes, you plant the seed, and when it buds, you present it back to the person as your answer of yes, let us grow together.
Yeah, you
yeah,
let
there
it
you
sit
go.
for a week or two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If your answer is no, or you do not wish to marry them, you just return the starling empty.
Maybe.
Or you just burn it.
No, you give him a crow.
Hand him
There
some
you go.
mash back.
Yeah, if it let's say your answer is no, but it buds, what you do is you pluck it and you hand it to a crow, and the crow will take it to him.
Actually, you
Or
just
her.
you just pluck it and hand it back to them. So it's they can choose to.
Right.
They,
So the idea is like this though, right? It takes a couple of weeks for it to bud.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the starling, and then you run off home and you plant it. Right. Whether your answer is yes or no. When it buds, that's when you get the answer. If the answer is yes, then you return the plant to them. Yeah, let's get hitched. If your answer is no, then you're going to pluck the bud, and you're not going to walk it over and be like, no, I'm not going to marry you. What you're going to do is you're going to hand it to some fucking bird and be like, go tell him I don't want to marry him. And then, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, like, you imagine the man or woman that proposed is like laying in bed, and then a crow lands on the windowsill and drops a bud, and they're like, oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit. Just a little crestfallen.
Just utterly destroyed when they see a crow.
God. You see someone who's got like crows that regularly gather outside their house, you're like,
Oh, that poor bastard.
oh God! And you again, as
Okay,
your
but
marriage.
what if it doesn't grow?
No,
That
if
means
it
you're gonna have
doesn't
ugly children.
grow,
If it does not grow, then Neurithmid does not want you to marry this person at all.
I think if it doesn't grow, then Narithma doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your
Yeah.
children will be ugly.
If it doesn't grow, if it doesn't grow, you haven't grown enough yet.
Mm.
If it doesn't grow, then you're not ready.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then you have to wait a full year before you can repropose again, except
full
if
year.
there is an eclipse that year.
Eclipse, yeah. A full year or the next eclipse, whichever comes first.
Yeah.
God, can you
Then
imagine
you
the,
can try
the
again.
market for seed sellers during the eclipse for
Oh,
people
yeah.
wanting to get hits?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Matchmakers, like all this stuff.
Oh, God,
Now,
yeah.
do you get something that grows really pretty, or do you get something that grows really fast?
Or do you get something that's going to, that's, again, like an oak tree that's, will take forever to grow, but is one of the hardier things you can grow.
Yeah.
And I guess the decision of what you choose to present as your seed is more of an indication of what kind of relationship you're expecting from your partner.
Yeah, there could be like you might pass a bamboo seed over, and that's just like let's be fuck buddies. let's just keep it cash.
Like, you know, like for
Bamboo
example,
is strong.
if you're presenting
That's true.
if you're presenting bamboo, you're expecting rapid growth, large family. If you're presenting a flower or some kind of flowering plant, you're expecting a trophy wife or husband. If you're presenting an oak or an acorn or any kind of tree seed, that's something you're wanting to grow slowly but be stronger than any of the other two.
The scroll of plant language for this religion is a mile long.
Oh my god! They
man.
even like they're
There have to be people that you go to get advice on all of this.
and they do a kind of gardening astrology where it's like plants that grow
fuck.
well for you versus plants that you are challenged with say things about you as a person.
Oh,
the garden
man.
tenders.
Yeah.
Oh, like you show up and they go, so I want you to go ahead and eat, because they're,
Oh no,
they're
they
all...
come to your house.
Yeah,
and
they
they
come
go
to-
through your garden.
Yeah, they go to your house, they go through your garden, and like select individual plants and put them in a special planter and go, this will tell me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
God,
feng shui for plants.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
And that'll do it for Game Woven this week. Thank you so much for listening to Fallible God by Mousewife Games, and last week for listening to Advent by Megan Cross. I'm TT Benjamin. I've been your host tonight, and joining me was...
Emily, as was foretold, all around the internet.
John, Angry Monkey Art, all around the internet.
Rabbit, don't listen to my Twitter.
And
Alex at Tierna Nerd Games.
thank you all so much, and someone else will see you next week. I won't be here.
None
Get
of us
out-
will be
Get
here.
out of my house.
Bye.